It's the Really Charlie Podcast. Yeah, it's the Really Charlie Podcast. Yo, it's the Really Charlie Podcast. Bump into your broadcast, grab a chair, fill your glass. Yeah, it's the Really Charlie Podcast. Yo, it's the Really Charlie Podcast. Yeah, it's the Really Charlie Podcast. Bump into your broadcast, grab a chair, fill your glass.
Really Charlie Podcast, making memories last. Your time, my time, we all shine on the Really Charlie Podcast. It's the Really Charlie Podcast, making memories last. Your time, my time, we all shine on the Really Charlie Podcast.
Hey, welcome to the Really Charlie Podcast. I'm Charlie Perry here on this Tuesday evening here in, let's see, kind of cool New Bedford, Massachusetts. And welcome everyone that is checking me out on Facebook Live, LinkedIn, and YouTube on the Really Charlie channel. Please like and subscribe to the channel. And also, I want to give a shout out to WNB1 Radio. I got great gratitude for WNB1 Radio and all the things they're doing for the city, for the area, for the podcast host like myself. And they're doing many good things. You know, they had a First Friday comedy show that was up and running at Whaler Suites and in 500 Hathaway Boulevard. The comedy show that they put on is great shows. Anyways, I have nothing but gratitude for the station and all they're doing, especially for guys like me. All right, that's 262 Union Street, New Bedford, Massachusetts. Definitely always trying to do the right thing at WNB1 Radio. You can add the radio station to your devices, being Apple or Android. And you see the logo just above me, WNB1. Spell out the word one, radio, and add it to your devices. Got music 24 hours, 7 days out of the week. All right. So today I don't have a guest. It's just me and you. And we'll just kind of, going to kind of wing it a little bit, talk about a few things. As a Patriot fan, I'm real happy, even though they lost this Sunday. Very happy with Drake May. Initially, I didn't know what was going on with him, but how could you get a good picture of what the dude's gonna do when the coaching staff is just not giving you the right personnel up front, and let's just say, I mean, you could be all collegiate, you can be an All-American in high school, but if you don't have the men up front, the teammates up front, it's never going to work. I don't care who you are. It's just not going to work. So initially I was kind of a little, I really wasn't. I didn't think he was that number one QB. And I think he is now. I really do. Especially playing against that good defense in Houston. He made some errors, some self-inflicted errors. I think that other than that, he probably wouldn't have had any if he just, just read the defense a little bit better. So, anyways, he's a rookie, makes some mistakes, and I'm looking for some good things when he goes across the pond in London. And it's going to be an early game, 8:30 a.m., so going to definitely have to perk up that coffee, eat some breakfast, and get ready for the game. All right. All right, another thing, another news, a news brief that I had seen, that early voting is happening in the state of Georgia. 200,000 already. 200,000 people already voted statewide. I think it's record setting. They also mentioned about President Jimmy Carter was able to vote, cast his vote, something that he always wanted to do and wanted to do early in the campaign. And so he casted his vote today. And Jimmy Carter, just down home, homegrown type of dude from Georgia. And he ended up winning, becoming president. And the rest is history. But he's still surviving, still doing his he's just surviving, and I wish him all but the best. um but that's another good story today. And I've been kind of scanning through different news things and with sports and podcast and YouTube videos, and and I was kind of on a good vibe today with everything that I was listening to. Just found out that they got a new podcast called Dudes. The Dudes on Dudes, and it's Gronkowski and Julia Edelman got their new podcast teaming up. And Edelman had a good, he had a good podcast already, and he just said, "Hey, I'm gonna do it with Gronk, good teammates. They like kind of fooling around, hamming it up, and doing the right thing." So I'm glad that they got together. So it was a good podcast. I listened to one of them, and I was really, really impressed. But all right, podcast is publicly is the audience, my privacy is public, so you guys can share the podcast on your Facebook feed. I really appreciate it. All right, so let's see, we're gonna go back to, got an app on my phone. I love it. Helps me out with a lot of different things here on my podcast, Really Charlie Podcast. It helps me out with some things that I'm viewing on Facebook, and especially when it comes to people putting out things, posts and everything. So I like fact checking, and it was so I have this. It's called FactStream. FactStream is real nice because they really pour out all kinds of different things out there. They see different posts, and they fact check them. And well, this fresh one today I have is it was a social media post, and it said video shows former Vice President Mike Pence endorsing Vice President Kamala Harris and Minnesota Governor Tim Walsh, and that is false. All right, they proved that to be false. That hasn't happened. And anyone that's been following politics, you wouldn't, Mike Pence wouldn't kind of come out like that. I think he's pretty much did his hurrah. He did everything that he could for the country under President Trump, and then I think he's about to move on. I think politics are probably going to be the second thing in his life. It's going to be in the past. So. Anyways, all right. So next posting, it is it says a left-leaning group just dropped off 20,000 voter registration forms to Maricopa County on the last day. This was almost assuring a Democratic dump at the end of the at the end to try to inject chaos and bring litigation to give the Democrats more opportunity to manipulate the law. According to factcheck.org, it says it's unsupported. So they have no facts on that. or falsehoods whatsoever. But could you imagine that? That would probably cause some chaos, right? But take one ballot at a time, you count it, make sure that it's right, and you go from there. I mean, staff members are getting paid. So if you're there all day doing what you're supposed to be doing, then there's no reason to get alarmed about it. All right, Byron Donalds has a post here. It says wages adjusted for inflation were massively up under Donald Trump for black men. The black and white wage gap in 2019 was actually shrinking under Donald Trump's administration. That post by Byron Donalds is mostly false. All right, there's nothing, doesn't go into it. That's according to political fact. But it says it's mostly false. All right. Let's see. I got about 3 more to say on here. Social media post. It says if Trump was guilty, why did the J6 Select Committee destroy all the evidence they compiled against him? And that is, according to factcheck.org, says false. All right, so that's false. No evidence was destroyed. And the last one for the evening is from Bob Casey. He says McCormick's promised the richest people in America a massive tax break. To pay for it, he made it clear he'll slash your Medicare and Social Security and cut Medicaid for nursing home care. And that they are calling Bob Casey a liar, according to the Washington Post. All right. This is some of the things that I want to bring to my podcast and other podcasts like Frequency Live with myself, Berto Carter, Jasmine, Derek, and the other guy in the background. I can't think of his name. Old dude, bald. Edmund Ray. So Frequency Live, that's Sunday at 7 o'clock on WNB1 Radio and Facebook Live. So we, I'm going to try to bring this fact stream there. What I do is I'm doing the frequency report. And so I get to say a few things. And these are some of the things that I want to kind of bring up, topics and kind of spark it up. Not that show needs any sparking up. Berto's loud and, he's boisterous. Jasmine kind of gives it a couple of jazz when she wants. Derek's there, calm, mild-mannered, but guess what? It's slowly throw a curveball in there and boom, and then he causes some havoc. And then Edmund's down in the background trying to disguise his voice, trying to get all low and everything, But, that's what they do. Frequency Live is definitely a show that I always admired way back when it started. From, even before that, it was called the Wind Down Podcast. And so I was always watching it every week. And so it's an honor for me to be part of it now on a weekly basis and get to sit down with a couple of good host and talk shop, and what I like about it is that I don't always have to come up with something, right? They bring things to the table, so we discuss them and talk about them, and then it adds to the show. It gives a good show, good production, right? So that's what I like about it. And so hey Jack, what's up? Good evening, my friend. What's going on? Hey. Love it. Mike Samayo, I see you, man. Thank you. Appreciate it. That's what it's about, man. These guys are committed to the podcast and kind of giving me a hello, saying hello. I hear you, my friend. That's good, and right back at them, when they're doing things, I want to make sure that I'm there for them because they have, me and Jack go back a lot of years, most of our life. And, but he's always there. He's one of my oldest friends, and I appreciate it. Like I say, my favorite teammate Jack. Love you, bro. Michael Samail doing his thing every day. We talk, kind of throw things in the inbox and going back and forth with a few things. And Michael's doing great things. Can't wait for his book. And I always mention that, but his book is coming out, and that's one book that I can't wait to read. Interesting already. I've seen parts of it. Can't wait. So let's see. All right, Jack, go back. Yeah, we go back a long time. Love you, bro. You're the best. The So those are some of the fact things I do. On FactStream, it's an app right on my phone. I love it. They're real consistent. My man, my favorite All-American from Greater New Bedford Regional Voltech High School, Willie Mack Jr., my man. Hey, this dude was a hell of an athlete, and I like you. I love you. Proud of you. So proud of you. And can't wait until we do our thing. Here, you know what I'm talking about. My man, great dude. Comes from good stock, good family. Love him. All right, the let's kind of talk about let's see, Celtics, right? I was on YouTube and Locked On Celtics, and they were talking about many, about the roster and let's see, they got Walsh, Jordan Walsh is there, shooting lights out in this preseason, doing a great job. Lonnie Walker, and then Stringer, they're Stringer, and so these guys are on the cuff, right, to make that final spot in the pro team, right? Or someone's probably going to the G League, or they're probably just gonna, get let go or traded or whatever. So this is the thing I understand about Walsh being a high pick. Like think he's earned his keep, especially the way he's shooting. Hopefully he can maintain that. However, we have been on the other side of the court when Lonnie Walker was on the other team. And the dude was scoring against this great defense that we have for the Boston Celtics. So what makes you think he's not going to do that playing with the Celtics against other teams? And he did do it. With Brooklyn, he was doing it. So I hope they keep this guy and they don't kind of mess up on this one. But who am I? I mean, over the years, I've criticized Brad Stevens. But look what he's done. He's obviously, through my criticism and everybody else's criticism, guess what the dude did? He followed his path. He followed his way, and he got a championship. So we cannot discredit him for the way he was thinking and the way he was doing things, because guess what? The result is what he did. And they're going to be raising the banner against the New York Knicks, who's another fun team I like watching, and I like that. Let's see what you say, Jack. One thing I can't talk to you about is the Go Lakers. Look, the Lakers. I think it's just management with that team, right? There's just management, contracts, all that. It's just not done right for some reason. Maybe someone's totally inexperienced about numbers, and it just kind of, now they're trapped with a team with some players. And now, don't get me wrong, they blew the Celtics out during the season, right? Last season. And that's what two of the starters on the bench. So they just came to play. They bring the A game and they beat the Celtics. However, that team is just, there's some management issues there, because they are locked in, can't get away from what they have, right? So, and that's too bad. They got handcuffed. Christy, what's going on? I see you. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for joining us. I really appreciate it. I hope all is well. Hopefully, you got your new vehicle. And I just, I know where you're at, and I just hope that things are well. All right. Let's see. Jack says I did all the time with my wife about the Celtics. Listen, it's man, I'm just, I was a Magic Johnson fan growing up, man. That dude was my man, since he was in college. Something about his game I loved. And then later on faded away from it. Faded away from the Lakers when they let him go. And they let him go as coach, and that kind of was heartbreaking. So my love for the Lakers kind of was lost, and I went back to Boston, even when they were lousy, All right, so let's see. Let's talk about. So I was talking about the Celtics, and so Lonnie Walker is my guy that I want on the team. And whoever they released or moved down to the G League, so be it. So be it. I really don't. Lonnie Walker's already proved that he's a pro. He's already proved it. Now he has a salary, and I get that. And there's going to be a hit on the tax and the team tax, but and it's not my money. But like I said, whatever you're paying these guys is just a small drop in the bucket for these NBA owners. So they can pay what they have and pay this, because I think you're going to have nothing but positives with Lonnie Walker. You put him on that second team. Now you have a scorer. And maybe, if he's with the tandem of maybe Jalen and him, Tatum and him, or even if it's neither one of them, right? The dude can score. And there's many, many other players on that bench that are scorers. So, we'll see what's going on with the defense, with that second unit and go from there. But I truly think that he's a plus. And anything from, is it Springer or Stringer? I keep forgetting the young kid's name. Got him from Philadelphia. I can't even, I think I can count maybe 2 shots that I've seen him make in the past, 2 years. So he's definitely pro caliber, but he needs to work on his game. And I don't think he's kind of should go to the G League. Needs to be on an NBA team because he's already proven that he can play. However, I don't think he's better than Lonnie Walker. And Walsh has just improved drastically from the end of last year till now. His shot is just unbelievable. And he's been shooting around with some other Celtics, I guess, and he's really done a great job. So let's see what happens. All right. Yesterday's show on Fentanyl Facts and Stories with myself and Paula and Jesse, who's running for state representative, and I'm going to butcher his name, so St. Jelani. But that was a great podcast. I get just that night, it was up to 700 views. It was crazy. So I really appreciate the support. And Jesse, he's independent, trying to win a state position, and hopefully everybody gets behind him and votes for the guy. And to me, he seems genuine. And those are the voices we need. Somebody that's new and ready to make some changes in the state level for all of us to benefit. All right. And my new favorite baseball team, the Los Angeles Dodgers, lost to the Mets. Thought they were going to come back, and they lost. So hopefully this next game, they can bring it to 2-1, and get back to the and just win this series, and get back to the championship, and then to the World Series. So I like it. I mean, I picked Detroit to come out on the American League side, and they lost. So if I had bet on those two teams, I definitely would have been out. Let's see. My next subject is about guests. I have a few people lined up for now until the end of the year. Got to set up some dates. But that doesn't stop anyone else from coming on, right? If you want to come on the podcast, you have something that you want to talk about. It could be anything. I like stories. Would like to get some people to come on and tell some New Bedford stories, which I'm going to end up doing on my own. Eventually, I'm part of the board for the New Bedford Historic Society, so there's a lot of different stories out there that need to be told about people that lived within the city limits, and very historic people. So I like to bring some of those stories to the podcast, even if I add a day during the week to kind of tell those stories. But there's very, very important people that lived here in the city, and also end up dying here and are buried within our city cemetery. So and they're right here. You're probably reading them in the history books, and you don't even realize that they're right here. They're right here in the city. So I'm going to try to bring some of those stories out. I talking to some members, and my great mentor Lee Blake, and fascinating one. I would love to have her on this podcast, right? Just kind of going at it with Lee and talking to her and let her tell some stories. So I got to try to get her on here, and that way we can talk, because she is living and doing her family's legacy on a daily basis, and reaching out to people all over the country. And so I'm very proud of her and glad to be part of her team now. All right. Let's see. Anybody you have any questions you want to add to the comments, some topics we can talk about? I just I just want to leave this open this week, this week for us, because I will have a guest next week, but things happen, so sometimes I got to just do it on my own, right? But I am consistent, and I will make sure that every Tuesday you will have a show, whether it's here, and even on Mondays. I got to make sure that we do something, whether it's with me. And Paula's a very busy woman, so if she can't make it, then I definitely got to come on here and do something and give you some facts and stories about fentanyl and put it out there. It's very important that as a podcast host, you've got to make sure that you're consistent, and if you say you got a weekly show, you got to make sure you come on a weekly basis. All right. Let's see. All right. And if you are not already on my YouTube channel, on the Really Charlie podcast channel on YouTube, please like and subscribe to it, share it, do whatever you can for me. Getting the word out, at this level is very, very important. As you share it, someone else shares it, that just gets a bigger audience. So let's see, a few things here. I'm trying to do a few things, right? Everyone knows that I've done a book on Andre McCoy, right? New Bedford boxer who fatally died with the U.S. American team over Poland. And the whole team tragically was lost. And Andre was one of the kids from New Bedford. So way back when, Clifford Russell and a few others, the committee they asked if I could do a book on Andre, and I was very, very pleased, a little hesitant because, biographies are just something that, I'm into poetry and write poems, and I didn't know if I can write a story, especially about somebody like that that's so iconic from our city. And so anyways, a lot of things happened over the years with the book, and the sales were kind of real low, really almost disappointing, especially for someone like him. And that story, I tried to do the best thing I could, and make sure that it comes out at least the first try, right? I always thought if I didn't get it right the first time, I would try again and add some more stories. Well, speaking to some friends of mine that are definitely into book publishing and everything, and one of the things I think that would do a great justice for the book is to make it an audio book. And so I'm going to try to do that, and do that because I think what that would do, an audio book is easy to purchase. It's less than a paperback or hardcover. So I think what I'll do is get that done, and that way all the proceeds go to the New Bedford Boys and Girls Club, or the Boys and Girls Club of New Bedford. And that's what I'm trying to do. So I'm working on that now. And if I can get someone to read the whole book and get it in an audio book, that would be great. That way it could be sold on Amazon and Audible, and then that money could be generated back to the Boys Club and Boys and Girls Club. So that's my newest brainstorm, and just trying to make it happen. It's real important that I don't let that legacy go, and I don't let it fall on its face, because it's a great story, and I just want to make sure that it gets out there, especially for the younger people that may see Andre McCoy Field and Andre McCoy Recreational, center or gym, and but who's telling the story about him? I like to be one of the people that are telling a great story about him. All right. Well, it's 7:30, and I don't see any new comments up here, but I would like to I'd like to talk about something, but I am not going to hold you up, and I'll give it about 5 more minutes, and if you have something you want to talk about, we can talk about it. But let's see. Remember that you can start your own podcast using something like StreamYard. Live viewers and comments will show up pretty much like that right on the bottom screen. You can set up a studio. They have accounts and plans on here that you can actually start your own podcast. Why not? You get a good laptop or PC. You get a microphone. You sign up and get on one of the studios, whether it's StreamYard, which I like. There's others out there. And I'm just going to talk about StreamYard, which has been good to me. The storage, you get to store all these different recordings, whether it's on audio or video, and then you can use them, where you can place them on Spotify and other platforms, and now your podcast can be heard. So, I highly recommend that if you want to start a podcast, let me know, and I'll tell you some of the things you can do to get it started. More the merrier. There's millions and millions of podcasts out there. and it's a great way to get your message out. All right, everyone. Well, I am going to move on. I thank you very, very much for joining us. Join me every Tuesday, usually at 6:30 p.m. And I'll be on Facebook Live, YouTube, LinkedIn, WNB1 Radio whenever I'm in studio. And hey, come join me. Come be part of this show, right? Email's easy. reallycharliepodcast@gmail.com. Send me an email. Send me a inbox message, and I'll get back to you. Or reach out to some of your family and friends, and maybe they want to get on, and then we can put them on. Like stories, like highlighting people. So, all right. Well, I'm gonna put one of my favorite songs on by Lionel Peter Walker and end this show. God bless you all. And don't forget, early voting starts. So get out there and vote. No matter who you're voting for, just get out there and vote. Show this country that we care about voting, and that it's something that it's a right that was given to us all, every single one of us. And believe it or not, no matter who you are, some people, men and women, have died trying to get you the right to vote. So get out there, vote. It takes a few minutes. Get out there and vote. Cast your vote, no matter what. But let's make these numbers the highest ever in our country's history. All right, take care. God bless. And I will talk to you all on Sunday when I'm with the Frequency Live crew. Berto, Jasmine, Derek, and Edmund. And we will be talking about some crazy things this week. So join us 7 p.m. Eastern Time on WNB1 Radio and Facebook Live. All right, y'all. Take care. Love you.
It's the Really Charlie Podcast. Yeah, it's the Really Charlie Podcast. Yo, it's the Really Charlie Podcast. Bump into your broadcast, grab a chair, fill your glass. Yeah, it's the Really Charlie Podcast. Yo, it's the Really Charlie Podcast. Yeah, it's the Really Charlie Podcast. Bump into your broadcast, grab a chair, fill your glass.